The following episode of the Carnival of Randomness is sponsored by an important message to you, the people, from Upsitnik and Associates. Every day there are forces that are taking from you, stealing from you. Your money, your time, your freedom. Immense faceless corporations, banks, credit card companies, insurance providers, government agencies, this list goes on and on. When you are under attack and facing crisis, turn to us, Upsitnik and Associates, attorneys for you, the people. When every day becomes a battle, we can advise and assist. We have been advocates for 40 years. Email us through upsitnikslaw.com or call us at 1-866-391-3299 or reach out to us through Upsitnik and Associates on Facebook for a prompt, no obligation communication and consultation. Don't be pushed around.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Carnival of Randomness. I remain Rob, and I think that's Zach.
I will always remain. Nobody else wants to be me.
And I was thinking we need a picture-perfect guest for this one, so we had to have a photographer.
There it is.
So here is my friend Erin. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
And tell us just a little about your photography.
Well, I started my photography business, which is more of a hobby. It's in the beginning of this year. I got a camera for Christmas for my mom. Excuse me how I'm talking right now.
Christmas gave you a camera? Jeez!
Nikon camera. And I always wanted to do photography. So I just decided to go out to rock shows in particular because I'm big on rock music. And I would just snap candid photos of rock bands playing, local ones, and other events too. Like I just did a couple of photo shoots for local business owners, and would also take pictures of art at the Hungerford. So, and I really enjoy it. So I do it for my friends. I help promote what they do, and I don't even charge anybody for it. So it's all in fun.
One of the things, my dad worked at Kodak, and I used to always go, I'll take him down to I had the moment the other year when we're going through the old cameras, and the docent there gives a snotty remark about some camera. You wouldn't know this, and my dad looks at him and said, I built this. And I'm going through all and I love those, it's like the old idea of, you know nothing about this.
Right.
But anyways, and I think he backed away, but he's telling me all about these cameras. I think the one thing I found, just from the little I know about photography, is the tech these days. It's amazing.
Oh, it's great.
And you have your favorite there? Would it be like one you'd get, or did you want one to start out? I know you got one for Christmas, you said.
Yeah. Well, it's just been a really positive distraction for me because I went through a lot of rough times emotionally about last year.
Welcome to the club. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good because it's all about just expressing all your frustrations into your artwork, and in my case, photography. And occasionally drawing, and I do a little acting here and there. But photography is where I just go out, I meet people, and it's been making me very content. So I'm happy about it.
I said that because I basically am. Seems like everybody knows me on the local music scene, the theater scene, everything. I've told this story. I've had people come up to me, "Oh, how do you know me?" Oh, everybody knows you. but for me, because I've chronicled some of the things I've been through this year, and people don't realize the idea of just the vent. Like sometimes it's just something, a hobby, something you can just go out and actually enjoy yourself or get away from things for a while.
Exactly.
And people don't realize that. It's like you don't want to it's like the pressure cooker where you're just going through stuff, mulling around, watching Game of Thrones for the 1,000th time at home or something, sitting there just, okay, what's on? What reality show is on today? Oh, good. Or watching Cheaters because you're going, no matter how bad my life is, It's like I don't want to watch those kind of like Lifetime shows where I just look at the people because I don't believe in stuff like that. I don't believe in putting people down. But
I hate reality shows.
Yeah, I do too.
There's like no art in that. Like it's just people going on TV and acting
you find
stupid.
how many people do this. Leonard Nimoy, I guess when he used to do, but he used to be a photographer. And what he would do is you could find his books out. What he did was when he semi-retired from acting, he went into photography. And what he did was he went out. He would find people. He would give them a camera and say, "Just go see what you get." So
Spock used to be a photographer.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I did not know that.
I only know that from interview with him because he was trying to finance a chain in a movie with the Siamese twins, and he said, "When I'm sort of retired from acting, you have to get a hold of me, and I might do it, but I become a full-time photographer. It was my hobby." Actually, in the diversity of the hobby, I think anybody in a way, some people you might not be good at it. Like me, I can if I'll sing for an instrumental band. Basically, that's how good I am. I'll stand up there. But you can give people a camera and say roll with it, and it's diverse. Like you have Spock, as I call him. That's no big deal. We know who he is. Spock. Then you have professional, but then you'd have like the pitcher for the Hall of Fame pitcher, Randy Johnson. He would go out and he would do.
He does photography. Carol Struyken.
Okay.
Carol Struyken, the actor. He was Lurch in the Addams Family movies.
Oh yeah.
He does a lot of photography.
Oh, I loved those movies growing up. Yeah,
I do too. Definitely. I mean, I used to actually, one of our friends, Alexis, a friend of the Carnival, we were trying to go through Halloween films, and I got so many people. It's like, come on, how many of you like Hocus Pocus the best? Give me something, like Lost Boys, if we said, or at least like one of my friends, Alicia, said Hellraiser, which is Alicia.
Yes.
But see, it's like, give us a real Halloween movie. So Alexis said, well, the Addams Family movies, because I grew up.
Oh, yeah. Like, Addams Family, Beetlejuice. I grew up watching those movies over and over again when I was growing up. Like Lydia Dietz and Wednesday Addams are like the kind of characters I could.
I was Lydia
to.
Dietz. That's the problem.
Really?
I was, and I always go, well. Some people can't see the strange and unusual. I am the strange and unusual, and I could relate to it. I should have been born looking like Winona wearing black all the time. I had my period where I just went around wearing black to better.
A lot of people say I have an uncanny resemblance to Winona Ryder. I mean, maybe I see it a little, but I don't know. I guess I take it as a compliment.
Well, I would get people go, "Are you okay?" Because anybody would ask me my favorite movie, and I always blurt out Heathers. And I would say I could name just about every line from that. But Burton had that because Burton came from the old background where he was an animator, so it said everything looks great.
Mm-hmm. And I loved her in that 1992 Dracula film.
I think that was, to me, one of the best. And the thing was, but the one thing I always found really funny about it, so you have the Welshman playing the Austrian, you have the American playing the Brit, you have the playing the Romanian.
Yep.
But I think that was one of the best Dracula films. Plus, Annie Lennox's love theme from a vampire in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to go see that, and I just thought, okay, this is how you. And he was, because Dracula was not the guy who looked like the waiter from a fancy motel, the Bela Lugosi. He was not dressed like that. I actually read the novel after that, and I said, this follows him because he comes out. He was a Romanian nobleman.
Yeah, well, you can't go wrong with the late Bela Lugosi.
It's great. I mean, I'm not going to put him down.
Oh, no, it's not that. But, he definitely was a phenomenal, iconic actor. Like, he definitely had the very deadly stare going down that everybody remembered.
He looked outwardly because he's from Romania, and he had that stare. Greetings. And Todd Browning's is very atmospheric.
Yes.
Didn't follow, I have to admit, watched it again. I didn't follow the book, but every year I watch him, and I love him, too.
Oh, yeah.
All those Universal monsters, Bride of Frankenstein, all those.
Yes. And actually, even though Bela Lugosi was well known for Dracula, of course, I loved him in White Zombie.
Oh, yes.
That was actually...
I always thought, I never knew. I thought Rob Zombie was the first singer.
Oh, very old...
But I love, what I really loved? I love that one, just his stare.
Yeah.
And everything. And the one I really loved, a lot of people forget about, is Island of Lost Souls, the first make of the Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, he was the Sayer of the Law.
Man.
Yes,
wasn't he Sayer of the Law?
Yes, Sayer of the Law, Sayer of the Law. But the thing about the Ed Wood stuff, I guess that they all say, he wasn't feeling well, and actually fans would come and see him, that he actually did him good. It did him good to go out.
Well, and on top of that, I think he was in poverty, he was battling with drug addiction. So really, it's sad to say, but Ed Wood kind of helped him as best he could with those movies.
And it made him
just
feel
give him a little
good.
pittance.
People would come out and he liked it. But I love him. And I mean, I actually just watched Old Mother Riley Meets the Vampire. And I was going to watch The Return of Shandu.
Right.
And I guess his whole relationship with Karloff was Karloff's daughter said it was a case of, okay, we're friends, but I'm doing well, you're not, and you're doing so bad that I resent it. That's what it wasn't more because Boris never did anything to him, and I guess he would hear about his poverty and say like poor Bela because Boris saved his money. So it wasn't like he hated him, and supposedly Bela's son says he never was like he was a gentleman from the old country. He never swore
all
like
that crap that
let's shoot this fucker
that Martin Landau did to get the Oscar, which in what the hell was it? In Ed Wood, Martin Landau won an Oscar for playing Bela Lugosi. He looked just like him. He's perfect.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
The ironic thing is you go to Romania, there's statues of him. Because he was an incredibly, very highly respected stage actor in Hungary when he was there, and then he came over here and...
Well, that's one thing. We go off on tangents to try to tie it in. You probably look like, in terms like when you're taking photographs for sort of an atmosphere or look and everything, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I didn't hear the last part you said.
No, just your terms when you're taking a photograph, like say you were taking a Halloween type thing, like you want that look like old style. It's like maybe you see a mist or something, you try to capture it.
Oh my God.
Or the full moon.
I was out in Canandaigua last month with one of my dudes. I have a lot of guy friends, and we went to this haunted housel out in Canandaigua that my friend Wendy was telling me about. And I went out and saw it. It was like this outdoor haunted house display. And it had a whole lot of skeletons, and I'm obsessed with skeletons. That's just my thing. Like, skeletons make me laugh, but they also look really cool. And, there would be this, one display of skeletons sitting at this very long table, like royalty. And I took a lot of shots of that. And, there was, this one guy dressed as Pennywise. And, and I thought he was just, a mannequin at first when I walked by him. He was just staying still, and he just, jumped out at us. But he, I don't know, he just mostly made me laugh, though, because it's like, hey, I'm out here, and I kind of, have to scare you, sort of, but I'm just a normal guy.
Some of those could be... I guess you love the Mummers Museum in Philly then, because it's all the old body parts and all the old skeletons and everything.
Really?
They have
yes.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
I should have been down there a couple weeks ago, but fate intervened.
What did they? I mean, they have.
So I'll send you pictures if I get down there.
Nice.
They actually have slides of Einstein's brain.
Really?
It's one of the 2 places on Earth that have Einstein's brain because it was not supposed to exist.
What is it called?
The Mummers Museum.
No, the Mutter Museum.
Mutter Museum.
I'm really rolling today and mispronouncing stuff.
It's Mutter, but the guy added an umlaut over the U. He actually didn't have the umlaut in his real name, but he wanted to look more fancy. But yeah, it's down. I don't know where. It's somewhere.
We should put one over the podcast then, over the O.
Yeah. No, put it over Spinal Tap. Put it over the V or something.
But we have to bring the story up. We always bring the story up for haunted houses and stuff.
Yes.
Because we have to bring this one up because you watch yourself if you have to scare people. Because one of our friends' brothers was a phantom at a haunted hayride.
Ooh.
So he came out and he fell. The cart ran him over.
The tractor ran him over.
And broke his legs. And he was screaming there. They thought it was part of the act.
Oh, my God.
And I've been to the ones in the, Madame Tussauds where they come running out and do that to you. Oh. And they tell you they're not going to touch you, but I'm guaranteed somebody's going to take a punch in them because some guy runs out at you like that,
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But did you have, getting into photography, did you have any influence from, actual photographers, not so, the Spock or
this
anything?
actually is a double one because I would like some actual photographers to use as a joke because when I see the schmuck out there snapping away pictures, I always like, who's this guy think he is, Ansel Adams? Give me somebody else other than Ansel Adams I can use, because that's like the only photographer I seem to know.
Well, I was very inspired by the late Linda McCartney's work, because before she met Paul McCartney, she was a photographer.
Linda Eastman, right?
Yeah, Linda Eastman, and she did a lot of photography for Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, and I was like seeing all this work that she did, that she really went out there to do a lot of photography for rock stars. And I was thinking to myself, and this was years ago, I was thinking to myself, I really want to do that. I want to be a rocktographer. And that was actually a phrase that my friend Eric Lendy kind of came up with for me. And
I like it.
Yeah, and I'm
it can go either way too, because you can go, well, did you get iron pyrite this week? Fools
right.
Quartz.
Linda Eastman, I would have to say, is my main inspiration for being a rocktographer, and it's something I'm willing to continue to do. I want to do more photo shoots other than like going to rock shows and taking pictures of performances and the audience like being in a mosh pit and shit. I just want to do photo shoots for the bands, and so far I was at the Phantasmagoria very last show on Halloween.
I know. I kind of know that.
That's how I met you.
I did do I did use your phrase, though. I said that was you gave me my Halloween phrase of the year. Do I have any food stuck in my fangs?
I said that?
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
I was kind of drunk, so I couldn't remember everything that night.
You said it, though. That was my phrase. I think we all were sort of just everybody there.
No, it was a fun night.
Oh, yeah, it was.
I mean, like, I had to be there because, I'm, like, best friends with Nick Rader, the front man of the band.
Who is this? Anton LaVey, reading from the Satanic
Bible. That was Jake.
The Satanic Bible there.
Yeah, he was great.
Believe me, I'm so screwed up. I'm lucky I remember people I know.
Yeah, Jake I just met recently. He's a very sweet guy. And the Phantasmagoria, I've known Nick forever. Like, he's like a brother to me. And this year, I got to meet the very lovely Faye, the keyboardist, and, she doesn't have a mean bone in her body. She's a total sweetheart. And at one point at that night, before they went on to perform, Faye was like, here, get a group picture of us. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So they just, like, posed with Nick, like, holding a skull and everything, and I just, like, did a quick group photo shoot of them, and I was so proud of it. And the way that it was like their last performance brought a tear to my eye, because as much as I just hate to see them end, but it's like at the same time, sometimes people have to go their separate ways, I guess.
Yeah, that's life in a lot of ways. It's good while it lasted. That's one of the things I said.
Yeah.
And rock photography is really... It's all. I mean, Nick Cave does like his. If you ever see his books with his weird art and everything, it's.
I gotta check
strange
it out.
stuff. I just got his new album. I pre-ordered it. I love Nick Cave.
Oh, Nick Cave! You can't go wrong with his music.
I saw him at the Electric Factory in Philadelphia a couple years ago, and it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Where he's just got a way about himself, where he's just got that charisma. He played Chip songs, so I was happy. But everything it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. He just got that way about himself. But and the other thing, like Jimmy Page released a autobiography. What did he do? He said, it's all photos. It's this huge coffee table book, and all it is, and you see all the he writes about it, but it's all because he said, what do you do when you get a biography or something? You go and flip to the photos.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Jimmy Page. He's, like, no doubt one of the best damn rock guitarists of all time. He's practically God.
If you ever going to win $1 million and want to say who played on some track in Britain in the 60s, try guessing Jimmy Page, because he was such a session musician there. He played on probably over 500. They estimate over 500 different bands he played for.
But I also love how he's into the occult. Like,
Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, he lives in his mansion, doesn't he?
Boleskine Castle is on Loch Ness.
Huh?
It's called Boleskine Castle. It's on Loch Ness.
Oh, okay.
And it's a rundown. He bought it, but you can see it if they show stuff about the Loch Ness Monster. I'm like, screw that. They got like the little island, and that's where it's like a rural cottage.
Nice.
And that's where he bought that because of Crowley, because Crowley had all that. I used to read. I used to tell when people would come to the Bible Belters would come to the door, I'd say my religion was Thelema. Because I used to read, when people were reading Winnie the Pooh, I was reading Aleister Crowley, which is a lot. Love is the way, love under will.
Definitely.
And all the other stuff.
Awesome.
But the Great Beast. But yeah, I guess plants start to blame him for the occult, for why bad things happened in the band.
Yeah, well, that and, John Bonham passing away because of his alcoholism. May he continue to rest in peace. But yeah, Led Zeppelin, if I could go back to any decade, like time travel in Doctor Who's TARDIS, I would totally go back to the 70s and just fucking live it, because just to see Led Zeppelin perform at Madison Square Garden, which I got on DVD, and their performances are phenomenal. There's like not much to putting up a fancy stage display. It's just them up there.
With the little symbols. And the symbol for Bonzo was that little symbol he's got.
Yeah.
That's, rumor is, that's the symbol of Ballantine, his favorite beer. But reading about them, we forget at our ages, and I literally was like coming to be aware about things just when he died, John Bonham died.
Yeah.
I can't speak about how mega huge they were.
Oh, yeah.
They were, I think their worst selling album was 8 million copies. When they had that reunion show, there were 24 million requests for tickets for a 17,000 arena.
Oh, I bet.
And they toured up. They would set up, they had a private plane, they would set up, and they would just go, they would take 90% of the gross because they would sell out everywhere.
And it's amazing how John Bonham's son ended up doing the drums.
I saw him with The Firm. That's the one thing I saw him from when Jimmy played with The Firm.
Yeah.
And the closest I came to Led Zeppelin is I saw Dred Zeppelin.
Dred Zeppelin.
This is a band that used to be around. They had an Elvis impersonator named Tord Elvis who sung Led Zeppelin to a reggae beat.
Interesting. Okay.
Their thing. Yes, they were. But that was the age of, like, really when I think rock, born really in the 50s, 40s.
Yeah.
Came in the 60s where you really got the music going, Beatles, Who. Then it really, Stones and everything. Then it really hit in the 70s with all those bands. That was the time. It's like Almost Famous, that movie.
Oh, it's like... in my opinion, all of the best music was from the 70s and early 80s. Like, all the best artists came from that.
Yeah, like Tom Waits
era.
came out then.
Yes,
Nick
I
Cave
love him.
came out. I love Tom Waits.
Alice Cooper.
Yes.
No doubt, one of
Who
my
is the
favorites.
father, really? We're talking like we had our burlesque friends on as well. He's really the father almost of that kind of like costume rock where he really said, I'm going to play. And I just saw him play with Hailstone at the...
Hailstorm.
Oh, that's what I get.
Anyways.
I'm lost at this time of
okay.
year. I don't care. You know what I mean out there, audience. You're used to
Yeah.
it by now. But he always said, I'm going to play, and I remember seeing him with the Muppets on the Muppet Show, that I'm going to entertain you, and I'm going to make sure I put on a show.
Yeah.
And he's the grandfather of all that stuff, all the theatrical rock.
Yeah, it's amazing what Alice Cooper can still do. I mean, even at his age, he's still fucking got it. Like,
He said it. He said he goes out, he plays golf every day.
yeah.
He plays golf.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and he said, as long as the band plays and I can still do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't go wrong with Alice Cooper. He's always going to be like the father of theatrical rock. And if it weren't for him, there wouldn't be Marilyn Manson. There wouldn't be Rob Zombie.
No, there wouldn't be any of these.
Guar.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
the
Guar,
Plus,
shows.
Zach's got one
Yeah.
for you on here. What's the Spanish movie Alice Cooper?
Yeah, the Alice Cooper werewolf movie.
Yeah,
But I don't know what the name of it is because it was kind of bad. So
I gotta look
kinda
it up
blocked
anyway.
Yeah, but they dub his voice in English because
it was something. And then he was in some shitty sci-fi movie.
Really?
A couple years back, Sci-Fi Channel movie.
Oh, okay.
Well, he was Freddy's dad in Nightmare.
No, he was on stage.
Yes,
and
I remember that.
I think it was like Rock Monster. The Rock Monster like threw him into space or something.
Interesting.
He was only on screen.
See how
for
we
a very
tie
short
things
period of
around
time.
in our own weird way? No, go back 6 degrees of separation. Alice Cooper, Tim Burton, he had a cameo in Dark Shadows. Where they're the band. When they go in, they have the party. He's the band.
Oh, yeah, that's
right. He plays
right.
No More Mr. Nice Guy. Then the cast of Dark Shadows comes into the castle.
And are you talking about the movie?
Yeah, the one with Johnny Depp and all them.
Yeah, and Johnny Depp now is back in his rock star roots, playing guitar with Alice Cooper in Hollywood Vampires. That's really awesome.
It's him, and it's because I saw they played Buffalo, but I have one of their albums.
Oh, I would love to see them in concert. I bet they're
I almost
really
did I thought about it. I didn't have the money. I couldn't make it. I couldn't put an insurance policy on my dad or something on my dog because they had a meet and greet with them. And I always I saw there was a meet and greet with Alice Cooper in Pittsburgh, and I hate the term bucket list, but I thought I've loved him. You got to go be in the guillotine and throw a balloon and just meet him, and I thought I can't.
If I ever meet like Alice Cooper or Johnny Depp or even Joe Perry, like I would just die. I would just like faint and just die happy.
Well, I saw Steven Tyler as I fall off the stage with Aerosmith. I did. I think everybody's got their stories like that. I saw him one time. This was before he was clean and all, and he.
Oh man!
But those were the days of like the big bands. The sad part about Linda McCartney is because you think of Linda McCartney, you think of Paul. You don't realize she had a career. She was big into this.
Yeah, and she seemed to really enjoy doing what she did, and breast cancer. That killed her. Like it was very tragic.
Yeah.
The way she went. I believe that, in my opinion. Linda was no doubt the main true love of Paul McCartney, and she will always be his true love. And
I think he was lucky because he went out with Jane Asher, and then can you imagine being Paul McCartney and everybody's throwing themselves at you?
Yeah.
And it's very superficial, and you actually find somebody you connect with.
Yeah, exactly. They were just like, you could tell, they were the real deal. Like, they don't just, bullshit around like a lot of today's Hollywood couples do. They're very grounded.
I tried to, put all that stuff. I don't want to care who's dating whom. If I don't know you,
me
I
neither,
don't care. But you get it involved, who's dating with no. I used to have, please, let her get arrested for shoplifting. I'd write to her in jail and have her prison romance with her. I had my.
She's not going to send back. She's going to peel the stamps off of your shit and sell them.
I am my fantasy. Leave me alone. I don't go stalk anybody.
I'm not saying I hate her, but I'm just saying that seems like
she was always She was like my first. Morticia Adams and her were my first big crushes.
Which Morticia?
Carolyn Jones.
Yes.
Jones from the TV
she
show.
Those are my friends. My mom was like, "Are you okay?"
She was beautiful.
She liked the girl next door. They are the girls next door for me. The girls next door to the cemeteries.
It's always the well-known Gothic women from back then that are the most picturesque.
Oh, yeah.
Yvonne DiCarlo.
I love Yvonne
DiCarlo.
Oh my God, she was one of my favorite actresses in the Munsters.
Oh.
And she was in 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston.
Yes, she was.
Yep.
She was just seeing photos even of her without the Lily Munster makeup. She was just stunning.
Yes. The other one too for photographers, one of the ones, and I'm very limited on this, but one of the ones I really like is Deanne Arbus. And she did a lot of freaks, which she did. There's a movie called Fur about her with Robert Downey Jr., where she had the bearded man from the circus, and she would just go all these different outcasts in society.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've heard
of her. It's Diane,
but
she pronounces it Deanne.
I'll look her up now.
But there's a lot of so many rock photography and stuff. Because I got so many books out about it. I couldn't even tell you who did it, but they looked really good.
Yeah, and it's all a lot of fun. I mean, I even though I've been doing this photography for almost a year now, I really enjoy it. I am hoping to expand the horizons and do photo shoots, not just for rock bands, but for local business owners. Just a couple of days ago, I was at Little Shop of Hoarders, which is a really cute place there. There's this very lovely girl named Monica who I think she owns the shop. I can't remember if she does, but it's her framed glasses. They're very 60s, and it's very her. And I had her like dress in different vintage outfits that they sell over there to model out, and she was just very cool to work with, total sweetheart. And it's all about just taking pictures of the most unique characters in Rochester. And
we have them.
And that's what I love about the Rochester art community, is that there are many different interesting characters. Almost every Wednesday night, I would go to Lux, take pictures of my good friend Will Carroll when he would DJ over there, and his very lovely girlfriend Mary Kate.
DJ Ultra.
Yeah, MK Ultra, I think.
Oh, yeah, close.
Yeah, close.
I'm blanking on what the heck she wore for Halloween now when I was out with her. I'm actually literally blanking.
She was this, like, mouse. Like,
I
think she had the mouse ears going on.
She was. That shows you. It was too long ago. It was like a week ago.
But, there was this one time last month when I went out with her, Will, Wendy, and Hillary to this one party, and Will was, like, wearing this like skull mask, like that had him open up his mouth and actually like drink beer with it, and I'm like, that is.
She did Bride of Frankenstein one year.
She did?
Yeah, I think she did ask her. I think she did, because I'm not new to the rodeo. I've been around, but over the years, you think about. I swear, maybe one year she did, maybe.
Well, but basically, Halloween was like my Christmas. It's always my Christmas every year. Like, I mean...
This Christmas your Halloween, then?
Well, I mean, like, I say that Halloween is my Christmas because it's, like, the one time a year where I spend the most money and I go all out about it. And I love Christmas itself, don't get me wrong, but it's like, see, this is why I love Jack Skellington, because he represents both.
See, that's my view. You can watch that now because it's not. And I think it's been ruined a little because it's so. I'm already out. Like, I have to take my dad for walks in his wheelchair, and I'll go in the mall. We had Christmas stuff up before Halloween was over.
Dude, I've seen Christmas shit in August.
They had the trees ready to go up before.
Oh,
I have seen it.
Why?
And then everybody was always complaining, as they're stringing Christmas lights. Oh, Christmas comes so damn early. Then get off your roof.
And I think that's like in terms of creativity and trying to... For Halloween, I think one of the appeals, you can be whatever you want to be.
Exactly. But it's just all about, like, having fun. And that was actually last month was, like, a real... blessing to take a lot of photography, because I think that's my main theme for my photography is like eerie, a little bit of rebellious rock music, and people just being their own fucked up selves in a beautiful way. Like, like I'm friends with a lot of beautiful weirdos, and it's all about, taking pictures of how unique and beautiful they are in their own way.
Yeah, and I had that night, I was on the fence book. It was really windy out during the day. It's rainy as all heck. It's like, and I'm going, I really want to go to this. I want to go to this. And I finally went out, and I'm really glad I did. It's like it ended the month on a good note and everything.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, like, once Halloween hit, I'm like, okay, I got a lot of fucking photo ops to take on. Like, I gotta take pictures of everybody in their most weird form, and that's basically my theme for photography. And but there's also like all the beautiful artwork, like at the Hungerford.
Oh.
I know this very sweet girl named Kelsey who creates a lot of jewelry, and I'm actually wearing her
Kelsey Lee Eckstein.
She is one of the sweetest people I've ever met.
They all are, though. The dirty little secret to them. They look so goth and punky. They're all sweethearts. Come on.
Well, Kelsey's adorable. Like her and her boyfriend, Vincent. Like I actually have. She creates these like really beautiful accessories, and I would take a lot of pictures of her in front of her display, and I would often visit them and, you know, help promote their business. And it's all about supporting each other.
We found the coffin people down there a year ago.
Coffin people?
Yes.
Yeah,
we're at Christy's studio, so talking to Olivia Christy. Hi, Raven. Thanks for sleeping. But anyways, we're sitting in there, and he's go roaming around. He stumbles upon a room full of coffins.
Yeah, because I didn't know if they were doing artwork with them. And then the guy actually came down and he said, no, we make them. They teach woodworking to people.
Right.
And that's actually, I have things now, I don't get out as much. I'm depressed most of the time. Really, I am. I admit I am. Like, it's been one of those years.
It's hard to tell.
I have, you know, I'm a crying on the inside kind of clown. But one of my things I always have on my calendar, I make sure I get to every year, is the Halloween of the Hungerford.
Yes.
Every year. And when your creepers played there, down to literally the thing next to Christy, just that little room. And I just love it every year.
Oh, yeah, the Grease Creepers at Lux. That was a fantastic show.
That was so crowded. I remember, I was really glad for them. Then they came out of the tomb again to play Photo City.
Yeah, I missed out on the Photo City show. I already saw them at Lux.
Smoke got in my eyes. They had little smoke machines. It was like, oh my contacts are killing me.
No, Tommy is great. He's another very dear friend of mine. And, you know, it's amazing to see him pull off any kind of rock genre, like blues, rockabilly.
I'm waiting for the Tommy Francis Jazz Project.
Yeah, definitely.
He's going to do something. It's now Big Bertha Blues, but I like how he challenges himself. And I remember Wilsey and Crump. That's when I started seeing them. And then, then they morphed into the Creepers, and he's doing I'm not going to say the word because we'll start doing puns. Because we started doing that all over.
Bob songs.
Yes.
We
started doing a bunch of puns on Bob songs.
Bob songs.
Are we always Bob's in the Wind? I'll start. We're not going to do it
Bob's
forever. Somewhere over the Bob.
Yes. Me and a couple of weird guys I'm also friends with, named Mikkel and Carlos, were joking around with Tommy behind Firehouse Saloon one time. And we were just making up oh God, I can't even remember the puns because I was kind of drunk at the time.
Well, we were going because you finally said enough. Stop. There's like the long and winding Bob. Goodbye, Ruby Bob.
Mikkel was like telling me about he was mentioning something about Mighty Taco on Facebook at one point, and the jingle for Mighty Taco just creeps me out. Like, Mighty Taco. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to get nightmares from this. And, you know, I was like, you know, telling him, yeah, their jingle scares me. And then Mikkel was like, Mighty Bob? And I just like, oh, my God, stop it.
Oh, we were going on and laughing our heads off. You had to be there.
Yeah.
I've got a few.
And we have, in terms of like...
Yeah, I got a couple.
Let's hear it.
Well, you got ground control to Major Bob.
Yep.
No, you already did the Mighty. I was going to play off the Mighty Quinn. So for the Mighty Bob,
like a rolling Bob for Bob. Dylan would get us
like a rolling Bob.
Bob Barrel Polka.
Yeah.
Come on.
But there's I'm sure you found, too, with your photography, there are a lot of bands around here, a lot of different kinds.
And I love them wholeheartedly. Like, just a couple nights ago, I was at Bug Jar, and which I go there a lot, and there was, like, Fatal Curse, and whom I've already seen quite a few times, like... And that was one hell of a band that I absolutely love. Like, they were a mix of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest.
My band from the 80s, Iron Maiden, was my favorite band in the 80s.
Oh, Well, I'm all about Judas Priest. I mean, I love Maiden, but like Judas Priest, Robert Halford,
The Voice. I got his Christmas album from last year. He had the Christmas album out. I bought it.
Okay, I was not aware of this, and I don't know why, but Robert Halford is God.
He's got the air raid siren for a voice. It's just so incredible.
Yeah.
And I saw them, one of my first concerts ever was Iron Maiden and Judas Priest on Screaming for Vengeance tour. And then I saw them on their quote-unquote farewell tour with Queensryche when they played, and they started with Electric Eye. And then they came to the Armory, and they played with Thin Lizzy and Zakk Wylde. And I saw that when they were doing, they did all the songs. They did Victim of Changes, Heading Out to the Highway.
Yeah.
And he's got that voice, which is just, oh my.
It's like thunderous. It just like brings thunder and electricity to the audience. And it's like, yeah, he's gay, but like he doesn't.
If you heard the quote, though, what he said about being gay, he said, he goes, "You didn't know I was gay. I dressed like one of the Village People for a decade."
Well, it's not really that. It's just that, like, he's like one of those people where it's like, okay, he's gay, but so what? He's still, and he still kicks a lot of ass, and that's one thing I love about the Rochester community is that it's very heavily supportive of gays and transgenders.
Oh, I've known this because I've been involved. I've sort of had a foothold in that for years. And I remember the Pride Parades, our Image Out Festival, all the theater, and everything. And I've known this for years. We've been very good in terms of...
Definitely. And I hope it continues because, don't be afraid to be yourself. Just be you. And it doesn't matter what you're attracted to. What you do is your own personal business. And I just love how people are no longer afraid to be themselves.
I saw these guys. I was down at Bob Fest, and they had the Pride Parade. These guys come by. Bob Fest. It was the Bob Shop. Used to...
Subliminal. You just snuck one in there.
But when it was at Village Gate, Tom would have Bob Fest, and he would have all the bands, and Pride Parade went by, and there were these guys dressed as Tinkerbell. And I'm looking at them going, you guys are having just such fun.
That's awesome.
They were bouncing around with little Wanna
awesome.
Go. I think this is just awesome. It's like I used to always go to just to see what people would dress as.
And
so that's why I'd always go to the drag shows or the tilt and stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean Wednesday Westwood, she's like very entertaining. Like she just puts on these really awesome drag shows, and she did really good in Bewitched Burlesque a couple of times. And I was at the Pride Parade earlier in the summer. It was blazing hot. Like I was hanging out with one of my girlfriends. And, but every single shot I took of the Pride Parade was just beautiful.
See, that's great.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have, and I have no skills at this, I'm sure, but you capture the moment. Like, you'll just see something, it'll hit perfect, and you'll take a picture of it.
Yeah.
That's like you're looking for that almost where the sun's perfect. It looks like you see the background. Maybe there's a little, like, chihuahua there you didn't see. People are looking, because I ask you that question. This is like the question for any Nightmare Before Christmas fan. Have you ever seen Mickey Mouse in it? There's a cameo by Mickey Mouse.
Yes, I did.
You did? You're the only one.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I don't know, like something about Nightmare Before Christmas that just brings me back to my childhood. Like when I was little growing up, I didn't want to be a princess. I wanted to be Jack Skellington. He was my hero.
I'm the one who almost got sent to the school psychiatrist because they asked me in grade school about, and I said one of my was the Wicked Queen in Snow White, and I preferred her a lot better than Snow White. And they were like, "Are you okay?" Yeah. I went to Catholic schools. What are you going to do?
Right.
But you have, like, where are you going to go with this? You want to go a little more like, which band? Okay, you mentioned Halford. If I said you could pick any band out, well, let's go Time Machine even, from the 70s. Now, who would you just say, I would just die right now? Don't die. That's okay. But
I won't.
You don't want to. I've seen too many of those movies. The Afterlife sucks. Who would you just love to, like, be able to say, hey, I want to take your pictures?
Oh, God. There's a long list, honestly.
Pick one. I know. I hate that.
Oh,
I hate that if you could only pick one, then I ask it anyways.
I would have to say Sex Pistols. Because Sid Vicious was one of a kind. And I would love... And Johnny Rotten, like... Johnny Rotten was known to be like a total asshole in the punk scene, but in a lovely way. And I would just imagine taking pictures of them.
I've actually heard
angles.
that. One of my friends who's in a band in London, and I guess he's renowned. It's almost like if you met him and he wasn't an asshole, you'd be disappointed. It's like I've actually met him. I remember my friend Jen Marks when John Waters came here, and we both adore him. And she met him, and I was asking, how was he? He's really, really nice. He almost sounded disappointed. Because it's like, can't you be a little edgy? But, you meet somebody, you're an asshole.
You just want to hear him say to you, "Oh, fuck off,"
Oh no, want to pose for a picture? Come over for dinner, John.
No, I would just love to do a photo shoot of them in their most natural, punkish, edgy form. Like, just have them be themselves, like drink or take a picture of them taking a piss at the wall over there, or have Sid Vicious, like, with some, like, blood splattered on him, like fake blood, and, I don't know, like, do crazy shit.
Those are the days of, I would have loved to have been, I've always mentioned this, that we have our clubs here. We go to Bug, Lux, everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And I would have loved to have been part of, like, some famous club scene, like CBGB's, something like a punk club where you saw these bands before they were the bands, which everybody starts out. And you just say, like, I'll use Talking Heads because 15,000 bands do Psycho Killer up here.
Right.
So you say, wow, and then you can go back. I saw these guys when they were in a little, they're playing like some hockey arena. I saw them with, like, the White Stripes play here at the Bug Jar years ago at Bugfest. There was another thing called Bugfest Day at the Holiday. Before they were the White Stripes, they played here.
I did not see that.
This was way before you. This was like
probably
way big.
When I was a kid.
You know what? You're at the Bug Jar. Ask Bobby about it.
Okay. No. I love Bobby. He's great.
I adore him. He's always yakking to me about the furniture. He's like, dude, you got any lamps I can bring in? It's like, I got enough, but I said, bring them down. We need more, because I saw that the first time. It used to be Rosie's.
Yeah.
It was different. It was a lesbian bar.
Okay.
So I'm down by him. They changed it, and we were down. I was visiting a friend of mine who was renting a house down by, close to him. Let's go take a walk over there. And we go in there, and everything. What the hell is this? It's like everything. So we was there the first night it opened.
Yeah. No, that's really cool.
I love Bobby, though.
Bobby is a true gentleman. Like, I was hanging out with him and Ian, like, maybe about a week ago at the Bug Jar, and I know a lot of really great people work there. I actually have been going to the Bug Jar since I was fresh out of high school, seeing a lot of local bands, like... that's how I first saw James Von Sin when he was in Blood Wolf at the time.
Oh, yes.
He's always a character.
I've done it. Don't try doing it. I've actually got the pen and paper out, trying to make a list of all the bands I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
Well, it's like, the punk community here in Rochester is just a beautiful thing to be a part of.
I love it. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
That's where I feel most at home. Out of all the shows I go to, those are the ones I feel just most at home.
Like, there's the band Just One More that has Ricky Rotten and Brandon Ross, another two dear friends of mine, whom I've taken a lot of pictures of them at their shows, and they're total sweethearts. I just basically, would see all these fantastic local bands, get to meet them and become friends with them, and it's all about, love and respect.
It's all the good things, and I love anything promoting local stuff too.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you could make us look good for a photo shoot, I dare you.
Absolutely, why
Take
not?
us out to my friend Michaela did one out at Highland in the spring, and she really she actually dyed her hair so fit in with the trees. I don't have enough hair to dye. I'll wear a funny hat, though. I like hat with ears, like a cat hat or something. If you can work that magic on us, you were...
Hell yeah, totally.
I don't like to leave a paper trail.
Especially with him.
I don't like to know people to know I've been places.
But where can people go if they want to get you? I mean, you do good stuff I've seen.
Thank you very much. I have a certain edge that I add to all of my photos, or at least most of them. But I appreciate. I really don't expect a lot from people. But, it's like people like Will Carroll would promote my photography page, and I would promote what he does.
And we always will be glad to. And just, will you get up early so you can come on here? Because that's my big thing about, no, we're friends. We're glad to, but he just always goes too early, man. I go, know what? I get like 2 hours sleep a night because my dog's old and got to go to the bathroom. My dad's roaming around, so I'm used to like being basically a zombie on caffeine. So,
but it's really all about, supporting not just your locals, but supporting your friends. And I just really, truly appreciate those of my friends who have helped promote my page and have given great compliments on my work.
That's actually what our podcast, because I basically have my friends on here, because you're all interesting. Number one, but I just say, look, we're here to help. I tell anybody, come on, though. That's what you want to promote. You don't have to come on. Put it on our page. We'll do whatever we can to help it out. We're all sort of, and we make connections on here where somebody does one thing and they want to pull somebody into this group or do a project or anything else.
Right. So. And this is actually my first time I've ever been interviewed in an audio show. I've never been on radio or anything. So,
welcome to the internet.
But, I'm enjoying this. You guys put on a really fun show.
Well, I'll blame one person, my good friend. I will. My good friend Caitlin Yarsky, because when we had this, she's a very good artist. She actually does a comic book called Coyotes for Image. She's in New York now.
Oh, nice.
But when we started doing this, I didn't know which way we were going to go. You want to listen to 2 idiots just talk like us do.
No.
And I'm just thinking, why don't we? So the first thing I did, I asked Caitlin if she wanted to be on here, and she came on, and she really enjoyed it. And she wanted to come back. So then all of a sudden I just started inviting all my friends, and everybody seems to like, some of them are, they probably should be locked up. but when the second person we actually had on was Tommy. And he came down because he actually woke up because he got stuck. He was supposed to be on one show, and I was telling him, if you can't come, because, he gets, but he was at a flea market with friends. Somebody boxed his car in.
What? I did not hear about this.
Yeah, so that's why he didn't come on. But everybody seems, and one of the things we want to do, I want to, things like for local, and I want everybody to enjoy it too, and just have fun being on, not just come on and go, God, those guys suck. I'd rather be at the White House for dinner.
Right. No,
I'd rather go see a political debate. Oh, we aren't doing our job. So glad. I'm very glad. See, it's not in we're not like the most outgoing people, but when you come on here, you relax, chill out. And...
no, I'm having a lot of fun here. I am socially awkward. I admit it.
Welcome to the club.
I deal with anxiety and depression, but there's so many positive things I can express that help me get my mind off of all the bad shit, and because you gotta look at life. In a positive way, and just appreciate what you have and what you see around you.
I've learned that this year, believe me. Yeah. I really have, amongst all the other stuff. Plus, I got the biggest pumpkin I ever had for Halloween.
That's
I
great.
did. I almost killed myself putting it in the house. But
oh, no!
It was heavy. But I try to look. You end up finding, when you go through things, you go, okay, the political climate's insane. Things are mad in the world. But you realize to appreciate what you have, and you try to, that's what you try to do. So it was very cool. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad it wasn't horrifying or check her stuff out too. Get her. She's really good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you can check out my photography page, Erin Ingrid Photography on Facebook. And my Instagram name is Vampire Wednesday. I just randomly came up with that name.
It didn't have an Addams Family influence at all.
Yeah, I mean, I admired Wednesday Addams growing
doesn't?
up. Christina Ricci, she's the best. She's
every year on Facebook, I will put up the Wednesday Addams Thanksgiving speech.
Oh yeah,
when she's got the headdress on.
Yes,
it's like you killed her
Pocahontas.
people.
Yes. Oh my God, she rules. Yeah, she's like the goddess of doom. Like
that's awesome. I always loved that.
Oh God, she is one of the most beautiful people ever.
And plus, I can also attest my friend Jay, who actually looks like Tim Burton. Him and his girlfriend, they were in Buffalo 66. They have a cameo, and the only reason I'm not name dropping the thing about it is that he told me they met Christina Ricci. And they said, honestly, she's like one of the nicest people you could ever meet. She's not like, she's actually super, super nice, which is good to know. Like unless she was supposed to be an asshole, then I'd be, she wasn't a jerk to you.
No, I don't sense her being a total asshole. She seems like a very grounded person, and I admire that. And, I loved Buffalo 66. I've seen that movie a million times.
Yeah.
With, what's his name? Vincent
Gallo. Who I would avoid the brown bunny if I were you. Yeah, I would avoid it. My friend Pauline sold it to somebody and said, somebody bought that from you? Oh, goodness. But thanks a lot and everything, and you're welcome back anytime you'd like.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I will actually, we're going to play, this is maybe my friend Ally Venable was in town. She actually good Texas blues player.
Okay.
And she actually isn't No Glass Shoes, which I suppose is the anti-Cinderella Nightmare Before Christmas song.
Nice.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to play it in because I want to play it for her because I said I'd play it. So I'm trying to make it work in a weird way.
All right, cool.
So we're going to play that at the end and check her stuff out. We'll have that online. We'll have Erin's stuff online. And for everybody else, ta-ta.
Thank you guys so much.
She sits alone in her bedroom almost every night, from home to work and back again. Man, this lonely life. Well, she plays the strings so gently, like his fingers in her hair. Lazy dog so tenderly, as if it's a mama has. Why they gotta be so hard? For a man to play her hard, like she plays that old guitar. She'll ride down another line or two, tears roll down her face. Fairies don't make guitars disappear and put a man in his place. Well, she's heard every fairy tale and she knows they don't come true. Cinderella never undermade, only fools wear glass shoes. But they want to love like a mama has. Why they gotta be so hard? Find a man to play her hard, like she plays that old guitar. gotta be so